Hey everyone, this is Jay with Weed Warriors. Just wanted to talk to you today about the sun and where you put plants. The sun should determine where you put a certain type of plant. For those of you who want the short story, want the information really fast, what this video is about, basically what I'm going to explain in more detail is that the sun stays on the south part of the hemisphere. It stays behind us. This way is south in the video I'm making now. That way is north. That's west. That's east. It's about 3 p.m. right now, and so you can see the sun, even though it's to my left, directly to my left, it's kind of behind me, and that's because the sun stays behind me. Again, the take-home message here is if you have a sun-loving plant, which, by the way, all turf grass really prefers all the sun it can get, you want to make sure that it's on the south side of any big objects, whether that's, well, let's talk about plants. There's certain sun-loving plants like sunshine ligustrum. You want to put a sunshine ligustrum on the south side of a tree line or a house, any kind of really tall structure. I don't know if you can see behind me, there's a little gas shed between those vehicles. A structure this tall, that's not necessarily a major deal. But anything like a house or a tree line, if there's a tree line that runs east and west, you want to make sure that you put those sun-loving plants on the south side of that tree line. Okay, so that's the long story short. The long story, for those of you who want the explanation, I love understanding why things are the way they are. The Earth stays at a 23.5 degree tilt. It stays at a tilt, and so as it moves around the sun, it always keeps that same tilt. It's always tilted. It's not up and down. The polar, North Pole, South Pole, it's always tilted. And so we're always in the Northern Hemisphere. The sun is always to our south. In the Southern Hemisphere, the sun is always to the north. And so even, it doesn't matter what time of year it is in Mississippi, the sun is always going to be to our south. In the summertime, I can't remember if it gets right overhead, but to some degree, it's going to always be to our south. So why is that important? That's important because, okay, let's talk about turf grass. I talked to you about sunshine ligustrums earlier already. By the way, I planted a sunshine ligustrum on the north side of my house a few years ago, not thinking, and it didn't do so good. So don't do that. Turf grass, similarly, we talk about grass that loves the shade or likes the shade and grass that doesn't. There's no such thing as that in Mississippi turf grass. I can't think of any turf grass that I know that loves the shade. Certain turf grasses tolerate the shade. St. Augustine tolerates the shade better than any of them. We have 4 main turf types here in the Jackson, Mississippi area: St. Augustine, Centipede, Bermuda, Zoysia. There's a couple of others that I've seen, but as far as a turf grass around a home, those are the main 4 that you're going to see. St. Augustine can tolerate the shade the most. It needs at least 4 hours of direct sunlight, though. Direct sunburned sunlight, like not that's filtered through the trees, but direct sunlight, 4 hours at a minimum. That's if there's no other stresses involved. If there's other stresses involved, like compaction, because maybe children or pets, especially bigger dogs, they can really cause the grass to have a level of stress that needs it to be able to get more sunlight, because guess what sunlight does? It photosynthesizes, the plants photosynthesize the sunlight to provide energy or carbohydrates to the roots. And so if you don't get enough sunlight, you're not getting enough carbohydrates for the roots, and the roots aren't able to get enough water and nutrients back to make more leaves. And it's this symbiotic relationship that you really need good sunlight for enough photosynthesis so that you can have healthier roots, so that you can have healthier leaves. It's this cycle process that if you take the sunshine out of that process, it just doesn't go well. So if you ever have turf grass, especially, let's talk about Bermuda. That's on the other end of the spectrum. St. Augustine needs 4 hours. Bermuda really needs closer to 8 hours as a minimum, direct sunlight. So if you have Bermuda on the north side of an object, there's one particular neighborhood in Madison that I think of, Reunion. They have a lot of Bermuda grass and a lot of tall trees. And so a lot of those yards, especially Bermuda grass yards, and there's a lot of Bermuda grass everywhere there, the Bermuda on the north side of those houses or on the north side of those big trees, they're just not doing as well, and that's because Bermuda grass needs a lot of sunlight. So anyway, as you're considering putting out new grass this year or in the future, really think about what side of these major objects you're putting them on. Let me check my notes to make sure if there was anything else. That's really it. I hope that helps. Let us know if you have any questions about that. And we have a lot of other videos. We're not necessarily sending all of our videos each week. We're just going to post some videos, so that way if you want to get around on our YouTube channel and find other videos that are related to whether it's the season of the year or just different subjects, you can get on there and click around. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do that. And thank you for being our customer. We greatly do appreciate it.